The first time I saw the alien general, I thought I was hallucinating. She stood 7 feet tall, shoulders armored in obsidian plates that shimmered with streaks of iridescent blue. Her eyes glowed like twin novas, piercing, calculating, and entirely unforgiving. Even though she wasn't human, the contempt she radiated felt all too familiar. "Another weakling Earthborn," she said in accented standard, her lip curling. "You'll break before the first trial ends." That was General Calith of the Vadran Dominion, and she was supposed to determine whether humanity was fit to join their interstellar coalition, or be quarantined forever. And somehow, I was the one shoved into her trials. The summons. Earth's governments hadn't exactly asked me to represent them. I wasn't a soldier, scientist, or diplomat. I was a mechanic from Detroit who happened to be in the wrong scrapyard when the Dominion landed. But their technology had reacted strangely to me. The interface lattice, an artifact they claimed was half machine, half living crystal, had chosen me. It fused to my skin like liquid light, and suddenly I was drafted as Earth's candidate. Calith didn't hide her disgust. "You can barely stand upright, Terran. The trials are designed to break warriors thrice your strength." I wanted to tell her she was probably right. But my pride wouldn't let me. I squared my shoulders and said, "Guess you'll find out." She laughed then, sharp, cold, almost cruel. "Very well. You die on your own terms." Trial 1. The Labyrinth of Steel. The first trial dropped me inside a colossal structure, a labyrinth built from interlocking plates of metal that shifted as I moved. "Find the core before the walls crush you," Calith's voice echoed from unseen speakers. The walls groaned like living things, shifting with mechanical precision. A corridor closed just behind me, sealing me in darkness. The lattice on my arm flared, sending faint pulses like sonar. I realized it was guiding me, highlighting paths, warning me of collapsing sections. But it wasn't easy. At one point, I had to crawl through a vent as steel blades clanged together inches from my face. Sweat soaked my shirt, and the air smelled of hot metal. Hours later, battered and exhausted, I reached the glowing core chamber. Calith stood there in person, arms crossed. "You survived," she said, surprise flickering in her voice. "But it was luck. The next trial will strip luck from you." I wanted to collapse, but instead I forced a grin. "Guess I'll see you at the finish line, General." Her eyes narrowed. Trial 2. The Arena of Predators. The second trial was less subtle. I was thrown into an open arena under a dome of stars. A dozen gates opened, and creatures unlike anything on Earth poured out. Scaled beasts with talons like scythes, 6-legged predators with fangs dripping venom. "This is a test of instinct," Calith announced to the Dominion officers watching from above. "Most humans panic. Most humans die." The lattice pulsed again, not with directions this time but with patterns, like it was syncing with the creatures. It whispered where they would strike, how they would move. My body responded before I consciously understood, ducking beneath claws, rolling as a predator lunged. I grabbed a shard of broken stone from the arena floor and drove it into one beast's throat. Another leapt, and I vaulted onto its back, using its momentum to crash it into 2 others. The fight lasted an eternity, but when the dust settled, I stood bloodied, bruised, but alive. Around me lay the twitching forms of alien predators. Calith descended into the arena. For the first time, she didn't look contemptuous. She looked unsettled. "You adapt," she said softly. "Too quickly. Maybe you underestimated me." I shot back, wiping blood from my eyes. Her jaw tightened. Trial 3. The Mind Crucible. If the first trials tested body and reflex, The third tested something far more dangerous. I was strapped into a chair, lattice connected to a pulsating crystalline engine. Kalith stood beside it, her hand hovering over a control node. "This is the mind crucible," she said. "It reveals your deepest fears. Few survive intact." The moment the machine activated, I was plunged into a torrent of visions. My old neighborhood burning. My mother's voice screaming my name. Every mistake, every regret magnified into unbearable echoes. The lattice pulsed, not with guidance this time but with comfort, like it was shielding me, weaving a thread of stability through the chaos. I clung to it, forcing myself to face each fear instead of fleeing. When I stumbled out of the crucible hours later, trembling but whole, Kalith looked at me as if I had broken some law of nature. "No Terran has endured this trial without madness," she whispered. "What are you?" I didn't have an answer. The General's dilemma. After the crucible, the Dominion Council convened. I expected Kalith to argue against me, to declare humanity unworthy. But instead she stood before them and said, "The human has passed. By our laws, Earth must be admitted." Shock rippled through the chamber. One counselor hissed, "You vouched they would fail." Kalith's gaze flicked to me. So did I. And I was wrong. Later, when we were alone, she confronted me. "The lattice was not supposed to bond with your kind. It chose you for reasons I cannot comprehend. Maybe it knows something you don't," I said carefully. Her expression hardened. "Or maybe it is a mistake that will cost us all." The betrayal. That night, alarms shattered the silence. I woke in my quarters to find Dominion guards storming the halls. The council had decided, against Kalith's ruling, that humanity was too dangerous. They would quarantine Earth, severing all contact. And they would eliminate me. Kalith appeared at my door, her armor gleaming. "Come with me," she barked. I didn't trust her, but I didn't have a choice. She led me through secret passages, fending off guards with terrifying skill. We reached a hangar where a sleek Dominion shuttle waited. "Why are you helping me?" I demanded. Kalith's jaw clenched. "Because you passed. Because if they destroy you, they destroy the law that binds us all. And because," she hesitated then said, "because I was not ready for you." The final trial. The Council's flagship blocked our escape. Its weapons locked onto us, energy cannons humming. "We can't outrun them," I said, panic rising. Kalith glanced at the lattice glowing on my arm. "It bonded to you for a reason. Trust it." The lattice flared, flooding my mind with impossible knowledge. Schematics of Dominion ships, power conduits, weak points. Acting on instinct, I directed energy from the shuttle into a focused pulse. The blast struck the flagship's cannons, disabling them in a storm of sparks. Kalith piloted us through the debris, her expression a mix of awe and disbelief. "You fight like a Dominion general," she muttered. "Guess you weren't ready for me," I said, and for the first time she almost smiled. Epilogue, a new dawn. We returned not to Earth, but to the Dominion's central world. Kalith stood beside me in the grand hall, her voice carrying before the council. "The human is not a mistake. He is proof. The trials reveal truth, and truth cannot be denied. Earth has earned its place." Reluctantly, the council conceded. Humanity was admitted into the interstellar coalition. Later, Kalith pulled me aside. "Do not mistake my respect for friendship," she warned. "You are dangerous. To others. And to me."